Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Grab a Cup of Knit and Chat, where I'm going to talk about all of my fiber fun that I've been up to this time for the past month, which is not a lot. So grab a cup of something hot or something cold and let's get started. So it looks like this is episode 44. And it is November the 16th. It's about 20 minutes to 11 in the morning. It's a Sunday. I'm in the house alone. My partner, he's gone out mushroom hunting. I'm just not feeling it today, so I stayed at home. Um, what have I gotten up to? It's been about a month since I posted a video, and this is not even the I should have posted last weekend and I didn't. Mostly because on Veterans Day weekend in November every year, this is my third year. I've been going to Spokane, Washington to visit my best friend and spend the weekend with her. Um, this year, the way that the weekend turned out, Veterans Day was on a Tuesday. I normally have Friday off, so I drove up on Friday and I took Monday off, seeing as how I had Tuesday already, and I drove back on Monday, which gave me a nice long vacation type trip. I like going that weekend because there's not a lot of what you would call normal holiday traffic. I mean, people will take some time off and go here, there, and yonder, but it's not like Thanksgiving, Christmas type thing. It looks like it's gonna start raining any minute, so I don't know how long I'll have before he gets back. And quite honestly, I haven't done a whole lot this month. I didn't take video while I was in Spokane. I thought about it, but I didn't do it. We went to Paradise Fiber, which they have a brick and mortar in Spokane, Washington. And past experiences there, I didn't want a video in the store because it hasn't been great. Excuse me. This time when we went in, from the minute we walked in the door, I had a vastly different experience than the last 2 years. Last year was completely horrible. Maybe not completely. There were a couple of people in there that were nice, but it wasn't the attention that I don't know. My personal experience is when I go into a yarn shop, I like the hi, welcome. Do you know what you're looking for? Do you have any questions? Can I help you find something? No, okay, just have a look around and we'll be here if you have questions. And then the other experience is the hovering person who's like, can I help you find something? What are you looking for? Certain colors. And when you say no, I just want to look around, they just keep asking questions and keep asking questions, and I don't like that. When I went into Paradise Fibers this time, it was a well-rounded experience. Because we were well greeted when we walked in the door. We were asked if we had any questions or looking for something particular. When we said no, they backed off. Every time while we were walking around, there wasn't that hovering thing, but if you walked close to someone who was working or walked by the front counter, did you have a question? Type thing. It was amazing. It was just a well-rounded trip this time, and my bag showed for it. Um, because I shut down when I go into places that are very, I don't know, you just kind of get a vibe. I will shut down because of that. And as a result, I'll do a quick walkthrough and leave without anything, regardless if I went in there for something particular or if I was just checking it out. Because if I'm just checking a place out, sorry, my ADHD mind. If I'm just checking a place out because I'm traveling and I see that there's a yarn shop and I stop and check it out, I usually try to get a mini skein or stitch marker or something when I go in there. I don't want to just go in, walk around, and walk out. I do try to get something, and that's my mini skein thing. If I don't find something that, oh, I was looking for this, or oh, I always wanted to try this, then I do try to get a mini skein. But a lot of shops, there are quite a lot of shops that I've gone into that don't have mini skein. And if they do have mini skein, it's the, I probably pronounce it wrong, Cuppa's little bonbon type mini skein. And quite frankly, you can only get so many of those. But that's just my experience and me. But here we are, almost 7 minutes in, and let's talk about what I'm wearing. This is my stripe hype. I don't know how well you can see that. I'll back up. This is my stripe hype. So the original pattern only has 3 stripe colors and then a 4-inch rib at the bottom. And I mean, you can see I'm a larger person. And even with the 4-inch rib, it was going to hit right at the top of my jeans right here. And when I raise my arms, I don't want that all showing. I like the longer top. If I was smaller, I might like the crop top, but I added a whole stripe sequence. I can't remember. Let's see. This is all knitting for Olive. The stripe hype is done in a DK. I did it in a fingering. This is pea shoots. The main color is camel rose. The green is pea shoots. The pink is pink daisies. And then we have deep petroleum blue and rust. And then I just did the deep petroleum blue on here and the pink daisies here, and no color on the rib. The original pattern is 6 colors. You have a main color and 5 contrasting colors. It's long sleeve, which, as you can see, I've made that adjustment. Let's see. It's also in a DK weight, and I didn't do that. I'm looking it up real quick. So I can show it. I swear that's the only thing that you can just put stripe hype and it'll pop up. Normally you have to make everything so particular. So as you can see here, it's a long sleeve with a big rib and cuffs. And it's done with a main color that's similar to the color of mine. And I think the rust is similar, but it uses 5 contrasting colors. It uses different colors on the sleeves than the body. My adjustments were that I did This is done with a US 6 and a US 2.5 or 2.5. I did the size 5X. No, I did not. I did the size 2X. I'm pretty sure I did the size 2X. I don't have the pattern in front of me. I really wasn't going to go into all of this, but I am. I did the size 2X. I did it with fingering weight, which is knitting for olive merino. I did it using a US 4 for the working in the flat, and a US 5 after you started in the round. It was the one of the projects, one of the ladies from La Merciere, Bainbridge Island, did it. I can't think of the name. She did it all in like 2 colors with a fingering weight. And I can't remember. I can't find it. I'm not going to keep looking down trying to find it on my phone. But if you look at the project page, it was done in 2 different colors from somebody at La Messiere from Bainbridge Island. And she used fingering weight with a US 4 working flat, a US 5 working in the round. And I followed those directions, and that's what I did. And when I got to the end of the body, it was so much shorter that I just added a whole nother color row. And I did everything to pattern except for the size needles. I think I used a US 3 for my collar and my bottom rib. And the bottom rib, each stripe is so many rounds. I just did the bottom rib in that broken rib in the same amount of rounds as each stripe. And that was it, because I had added so much length. I didn't need that really big 4-inch rib on it, and I'm so glad I did. I could have done it twice as big and been happy, but I was really happy with the length at this time. And then with the sleeves, I picked up like you're supposed to with the main color. I did exactly what it said, except for doing all of it. I stopped after the second main color stripe, and instead of doing another, I just used the deep petroleum blue like I did on the middle. Instead of doing another stripe in the deep petroleum blue, I just used the same US 5. I didn't change needle size, and did the broken rib in that stripe color, and you cast it off. That's all I did. So whenever I stand up, the stripes are almost even. So yeah, it was fun. I'm glad I did the short sleeve. Knitting for Olive. This is my first Knitting for Olive project. It started out whenever I went to Flock and I found the Camel Rose, which is this beigey color. And I wanted to make a Sophie scarf, and the more that I touched it, I was like, no, I want something different. I would really like a sweater in this. And then I saw the stripe hype and people making it, And I actually watched Table 10, and they were both making it. And I think, I can't remember which one it was. I want to say Rachel was doing it with some knitting for Olive, the heavy merino, because she was doing the DK weight. And then I saw this project. I went on Ravelry and I went to the projects, and then there's a place there for the stripe pipe. I went into the projects, and then there's a place where you can search it, you seeing if anyone used knitting for Olive, and that's how I found what I did. And it's awesome. Oh, my partner found some lobster mushrooms on his thing. So there you go. That's awesome. So that's what I did. I did the looked it up on Ravelry for who was using knitting for Olive, and I just kind of followed that. That's how I found that one project with the different needle sizes. Wow, I was all over the place there. Sorry about that. That's how my mind works. I have all the projects. I mean, I can show you the stack. See that? That's awful. That is awful. That is my mind. That is projects and bags that I've started that I haven't touched. One of them is not in a bag. There's yarn there that I had ordered that I haven't put up yet. There's hypnotic yarn, which is yarnable. I got some mystery skeins, which is this is a fingering mini in plush pink, plush sock, mystery pink and plush sock, mystery neutral and plush sock. I like to get these when they have them on sale, so that I can do heels, toes, and cuffs. They're 20-gram minis. This is a mystery green and plush sock. This is a 50-gram. I can actually get a sock out of a 50-gram with a mini. So that could be a sock right there, but I think I'm going to use this for heels, toes, and cuffs because I do have some Christmas colors of heritage print. And then I have fiber for the people. Gentianum Sky. It's Nevada Merino Rambule. This is Sport. I'll let you see that. For those that don't know, Fiber for the People is Taylor Earl at Wool Needles Hands podcast. She's in Nevada. She uses homegrown Nevada wool to dye. I have all kinds of hats. You would have seen all of the hats over there to dry. Um, I'm doing, I'm just calling it, sorry, my mind stopped. I'm doing what I call a donation hat, knit along thing. I was test knitting the Stripe-tastic for Maxim Sear. I didn't quite finish my test knit. I'd still have some to work on. I every time I do a test net, I have clear, open space of time. Yes, there's nothing going on during that time. Yes, I can get it done. And then something happens right after I start it that I can't get it done. This week, it's been my shoulder, my elbow. I really, holding it bent like this is about it. There's a whole lot of tendonitis going on in here. I do knit prolifically, obsessively, I guess you could say. If I'm sitting, I have to be knitting. If you could see my hands right now, you could probably see my body moving, but my hands, when I talk, are always moving just like this, or I'm moving something. I have an ADHD mind. I'm really bad, and it's just one of those things. But I have a box over here of some baby blankets I had made in the past, a couple of little shawls, some hats, things like that that I've made. Not too long ago on one of my videos, I showed a baby hat that I made out of some cotton yarn. And I have a lot of acrylic yarn that I'm making hats out of because it's easy care along with the cotton. You can wash it and dry it. That's going to be handed out the 1st of December. I have, I am a social worker. I have a place that I just take these things. I like to make them throughout the year, and I throw them in a box, and that's what I'm doing. One of them, I will show you this. This is one that I did. Now, this is not hand knit, and I'm pretty sure that any knitters out there can see that. This is very loose done, as you can see, and it's just a cinch top, and you can add a pom-pom to it, and it's double thickness. It's folded. This is a tube that is done on this. This is the jemmet. This is you can do tubes or flat, but you turn it and it has those needles here that come up, and you just start it and it goes around and it does a tube. And I have a piece on here where I actually can use a drill and put it in there, and you just do it steady just like that, and it turns it, and I save my shoulder. Another brand of this is called the Centro, I think, which is this one. This is the Centro. This is the very small one. And this is the size hat that one will make for newborns. You can see it'll stretch out pretty good. It's so loose knit that it will stretch out pretty good and be like a little tight hat for a newborn baby. I just make a tube on those. You fold it into each other. It can be turned because the purling's on the inside of the tube. That's just where I snipped off some ends. You turn it in on each other. You cinch in the inside, and then you use the same tail and cinch in the outside, and then you turn it right side or wrong side out, and you tie them together and weave them in. This one just looks really funny. I don't know why, but it does. And then you can put a pom-pom on it if you want to. The other that I did was the hand knitted ones. This is the barley hat from Tin Can Knits. It has the pearl section, the rest of it's knit. You got a pinwheel top. This is just the child size. I did one with the pearl section, and then I did one just using the numbers and the same size without doing the pearl section. And that's this one. You just don't put the markers in. You just don't do that. You just knit all the way around. And that's how those come out. So I have different hats. I'll make different size hats. These are just like kid size and baby size, and they'll go with whatever. I had some baby blankets made up, a couple of little scarves that went in the box. That's my thing. If you're a process knitter like I am, I can only make so many pairs of socks to wear. I can only gift so many pairs of socks. I can only make so many hats, that kind of thing. So making a hat and throwing it in a box to give away in wintertime the next winter is a good thing for me, because it's not about, with this, it was what I was making. I wanted this. It's not always about what I'm making. It's just the fact that I am making. Just sitting in a meeting, working on a hat, working on a pair of socks, that kind of thing. I usually don't give socks to people that I don't know. Number one, because a lot of times, even if it is superwash yarn, it's not going to get cared for the way that it needs to be cared for. So when I do hats, I do try to use superwash yarn for hats. I do try to use acrylic for hats if they're going to be donated. I guess that's just what I'm trying to say. Not everybody donate knits. I just have to have something constantly going, so that's what I do. What am I doing right now? You saw my pile of whips here. I'm not working on any of that. I'm not going to show you what I'm working on as far as a whole lot. I would, except for the fact that, let's see, my history. I am working on the iQuilt 2 knitted blanket pattern. It's really cool. I saw that on Nitty Natty. So I got 5. Is it 5? I think it's 5 Advents this year. The only Advent I have ever bought was the Woolens and Nosh Advent last year. The sock Advent. I showed my sock Advent for this year on the last podcast. It's the Pacific Northwest. Helps if I hold it right. Yes. But this is their inspiration picture. This is a sticker that came with it. This is on the outside of the bag. I showed this last podcast. Yes, I did start that. No, I'm not going to show that because she sends her Advent out where I usually have it by the 1st of November. And I didn't wait. Last year I used it, excuse me. as my birthday socks. And so I knit it way before everybody else. And then I have to sit there and put, like, this is the sock. I have to sit there and hold something up over it so that you only see, like, oh, day 1, day 2, day 3, that kind of thing. That was see through, but that was just an example. And I'm not going to do that. Um, I also got so I've started those. I'm behind on those. I'm not doing them every day, so I need to catch up. I also got my Rainier Roses Advent, which is a moody romantic Advent, and I've started that. I'm one of those people that if I want to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to wait. I also got the Skein Scoop um, Scrappy Yarn Swap Advent. I can show that box. This is the box it came in. And this is what that box looks like. I got this wonderful scarf. It looks like a Sophie scarf. Not sure if it is. Candy stickers. There was markers in there. These bags are so cute. Each one is a different little gnome, and I'm a gnome fanatic. And they're marked for the day. What you did was Skein Yarn Shop did a scrappy yarn swap advent where you got partnered with someone and you send them 24 or 25, I think it's 25 mini skeins of scrap sock yarn or fingering weight yarn, and they send you 25 mini skeins of fingering weight yarn. And I sent mine off. My swap partner was in Florida. I sent mine off the weekend I was in Spokane. She sent hers to me. I have it. I just got it yesterday. I'm not sure if I'm going to wait and open that. I'm not someone who does Vlogmas. I don't really do vlogs. What you see is what you get. And I'm not sure if I'm going to open anything on the channel. But if I do wait to open things, I will show that on here, or I'll show up to that point where I'm not spoiling anything for anybody, which this isn't really spoiling anything, because what I have is unique to what our swap was. But the Rainier Roses one, I'm not showing until the end of December, because I know other people have that advent. And I'm doing the I Quilt 2, which is a $4 pattern on Ravelry. It's from a Little Knitted Designs. It's fingering weight. It uses a US 3. And I may show it in black and white. I'm not sure. I could do that. I can show all of my advents in black and white if I do them ahead of time. But the thing about it is with that advent, because you're using 2 minis to make each square, you make small squares, 4 of them, using the 2 minis, and then you sew them together to make a larger square. I am using day 1 with day 24 and making a square. Day 2 with day 23 and making a square. So I'm doing it kind of oddballish. I got that Friday, and I've already started making my squares, and I have two of the small ones done. It's a fun pattern, and it's a easy garter stitch type pattern. So I really like that. I have a storyteller advent, which is a Narnia advent. The first Narnia movie about the wardrobe. It's that advent. I have that coming. I have a Hypnotic Yarns Christmas Eve cast on thing coming. I have Les Garçons box coming. I have a couple others coming. So I don't I don't necessarily wait until December because I'm always doing. Let's just put it that way. I'm not a real big holidays type person. I've said it on my channel before. Um, Valentine's Day, we tell each other we love each other all the time. We don't wait until a certain day. Thanksgiving is a special time for me. That has to be my most favorite holiday, but it's not because we use that one day to give thanks. It's just a special get together for my family because I have a grandchild whose birthday is the day before this year. Mine is 2 days after this year. I have a nephew who is the 14th. I have different, there's just a whole lot going on, but it's always been my favorite holiday because it seems like the one holiday when I was growing up that the family really got together on, and there's no presents exchanged. It's just family getting together, having dinner, enjoying one another. There's no pretense of getting people presents or anything like that. You're just enjoying. And I think that's what I like about it the most. I'm not a real big Christmas person. I was when I was a kid, but since then I haven't really been a big Christmas person, probably since I was about 8, to be honest with you. I just wanted there to be 2 Thanksgivings. I didn't like the other stuff. I don't like the whole keeping up with the Joneses part. I don't like the whole, there's just a whole bunch and I won't get into it. But Christmas is not a great time for me. This is the first year that I'm having Thanksgiving and Christmas without being able to talk to my mom. And that's kind of hit a little bit in the past week. And I really didn't realize it until this morning. What else was it? That just kind of threw me off. I'm just knitting whatever I want to knit on at this point. I'm not putting pressure on myself to do any certain thing. If I want to knit on it, I'm going to knit on it. I picked up my Quadrophenia again by Kay Jones, which is 4 triangle sections that you just knit and then sew together. This is what I have in my basket for scraps right now because I did that scrap swap. I have a few that I can pull out. That's done on a US 3. I'm also listening to what's it called? The Sidetracked Home Executives book. I have it on my Kindle, and I don't do a lot of reading books with my eyes. I do a lot of listening to books, audiobooks, and that's kind of slowed down lately because a lot of the books that I have on hold with the library is like 8 to 10 weeks wait. And I am part of Good Books Lately book club, and I can't keep up with them because I am not going to buy a brand new book every month, and it's not expected. They don't care how you listen to it. They don't care, if you buy it or borrow it or whatever, but it's getting to where with my library, every time I go to get a book, there's one on here that's a 14-week wait, and we're the 16th of November, and it's November's book club book, and I refuse to buy it. It's The Great Alone by Christine Hanna. It's a 15-hour listen. It's a pretty good book. But I'm still 11 weeks out on this book. And this is November's book for the group. And I started out 194th in line. And right now I'm 149th. And there's 27 copies in use. So, I mean, it's getting to where a lot of people are using the library for their audiobooks, I think. And I'm not able to keep up. So I may have to how can I say this? I may have to drop the book club because I can't keep up with the books. That's it. Because I can't do it. I don't like Audible because you have to pay so much for books that you can get from the library. So if I'm not in a book club, I can get the book for free at the library, just wait my turn to get it. That would be okay, because I've said it before, I have an hour drive to and from work every day, and I listen to the books. That's my calm down, get ready for the day on the way to work, and let's listen to this audiobook and just kind of zone out and do my drive, and not really zone out, but do my drive and focus and listen to the book. And then on the way home, that's my decompression, where I'm listening to the book and just kind of like letting my body relax from the day. And this past month, it's been really hard at work and really disillusioning, and makes me question, do I still want to do this work? And that's not just because of the whole political realm thing. That's just an overall, because I am at no form political. I have learned a long time ago to keep my thoughts to myself, because I'm either going to piss people off or they're going to piss me off. And I am not on one side or the other, because neither side is right. One side may have good points, the other side may have good points, but there is nobody trying to bring those 2 points together to do something. And I'm really not there. What else can I say? Oh, the sidetracked home executives. I'm like on chapter 3 of the book, and it does this whole index card system where you do like daily chores and you get in the habit and stuff like that. And as you can tell from my videos, I am a very hyperactive person who, looking at that whip pile that I showed earlier, those are all things that I started because I want them and I want to do them. but picking one thing to start or picking up one thing to work on is harder for me to choose which one to work on than it is just to start a new project. And I've done that quite often. Or I do something starts with the rib and I'll get halfway through the rib and I'm like, God, I hate this. And I'll put it down. Um, I can only do so much. Like if you're starting with the collar and you're doing the rib for the collar, this one doesn't start with the collar, but if it does start with the collar and you're having to do a 2-inch collar and it's like, ugh, it's the same thing with socks. You have to start with the cuff or you start with the toe. I can start with the toe and I can get going, but I do like doing cuff down socks. So I think I need to do 1 and 1. The cuffs usually turn out to be 10 to 15 rounds for me because that's about all the cuff that I can do. I've done a ribbed sock all the way down the leg, and then I stopped at the heel, did the heel, and then I just went plain stockinette. So ribbing is not good for me. So I get to a point where it's just like, it's the same thing over again. Why? So yeah. Anyway, I've been rambling for 46 minutes now, and I really didn't have anything to show. I really didn't have a lot to talk about, which is me. I can do 46 minutes of nothing, but I appreciate you stopping by. If you were new, welcome to the chaos. I should have said that to begin with. If you're returning, welcome back to the chaos. This is a podcast about what I like to do, what I want to do, what I hate doing. But it's nice to be able to just sit and talk and have a cup of, actually I'm doing Hell's Brothers cappuccino today. It's the powder you add water to and you get like a, kind of like the, what were they, the little canisters of Swiss mocha or whatever. That's what it is for me. Nostalgia. Yeah, I rambled again. So enjoy your afternoon. Do something you want to do. You don't always have to do what everybody else wants. I'm trying to learn how to train my brain into doing housework and doing things that needs to be done instead of just sitting down when I look at a room and saying, oh my God, where do I start? Let's start a new project. So yeah, enjoy, smell the roses, smell the coffee, relax, have fun, and I'll see you again probably next week, maybe next week. We'll see. That'll put me back on my time. So, bye.